Welcome back. So we know every high school has a hangout, right? That nearby place you go after games, a great report card or not so great report card. Well, the PNW was home to a few of those high school hangouts, often named for the school mascot. Historian Feliks Banel joins me now to share a few drive-ins still here and a few that are sadly gone. Thanks for being here.
Yeah, my pleasure.
I like that you're rocking the Letterman's jacket. This whole topic makes me think of that movie. Was it American Graffiti?
Yeah, that's a classic about high school and eating and music and car culture and everything. And that's what these drive-ins really are.
Yeah.
They're a place that's sort of off campus. So the same rules don't apply, but the same cast is there, right? You know, the nerds, the jocks, the cheerleaders, the athletes. It's all sort of a place for them to mix without the teachers looking over their shoulders. And a lot of places around the Northwest had a little drive-in like this. Not like a Dick's Drive-In or a Burgermaster that anyone went to,
right,
but more specifically about that high school, named after the mascot. And anyone was welcome, but it just gave this sort of extra sense of community for kids and for alums. A lot of times you have grandparents bringing their kids or grandkids, whatever, to a place they went when they were in high school 20, 30, 40 years ago.
And we saw this last for a long time. I'm thinking of Footloose, when they hung out at that one drive-in. I mean, it was a huge part of American culture.
Yeah.
So what was the value for the community as a whole?
Well, it's like a crossroads. It's like a place where you can bump into adults and kids, high school age kids, who wouldn't ordinarily mix in the cafeteria at the high school, right? You only see others' kids. This is like out in the community, it's out on the street, and it's open, usually open 7 days a week, so it's not just for high school kids. It's just this sort of unique mingling of car culture and fast food culture and this sort of youth obsession that this country's had since, at least since the end of World War II, sort of the baby boom. It's another baby boomer thing, really.
Yeah.
We can blame the baby boomers for this,
boomers again.
But it's a really cool thing because anyone can participate in it.
Well, I love this, and some are still around. A few here, a few gone, but let's talk about the one that is still here, the Ram in Chattaroy.
Yeah, this is not too far from Spokane. It's along Highway 2. It's called the Ram, and it dates back to the early 1960s. It's decorated with high school colors. It's right across the street from Riverside High School. It's huge on football nights in the fall. Friday night, everyone shows up there. What I also really like about this place, it's not too far from a summer camp that's been there for decades. And oftentimes kids get out of summer camp and they stop at this place on their way home. It's like their first food after getting out of prison.
Yes, I can imagine. What about the Grizzly Den in Hoquiam?
Yeah, same kind of situation down in Hoquiam. It's right across the street from Hoquiam High School. Their mascot is the Grizzly, so it's called the Grizzly Den. That's the coolest thing about these. It's sort of the silly, easy way to name them after the high school mascot. You don't have to try to come up with a catchy name like Burgermaster or Dick's Drive-In. It's just that the name's right there for you.
Right.
And same kind of thing. Both these places have menu items named after the school. The Ram has a Ram burger, which is 2 beef patties, 2 pieces of cheese, and a piece of ham.
Oh, the Ram burger.
And the Grizzly Den has, as you'd expect, the Grizzly burger, and that just has 2 pieces of meat. There's no ham on the Grizzly burger.
Have you been to both of these places?
I have. I've been outside them and peered in the windows. They weren't open when I went cruising around them late at night on my various travels around the state. But the 2 I remember the most, driving past and envying when I was a kid, was up in Snohomish. There was one called the Panther's Den.
Panther's Den.
And then in Granite Falls, tiny little Granite Falls, there was one called the Tiger's Den. And it's just a little, right on the edge of campus, right across the street in some cases. And it's just the kind of thing where, you know, the high school, I went to Lake Washington High School. I didn't earn this Letterman's jacket. I bought this used. I was on the JV bowling team. They didn't give these to JV bowlers.
That's okay. I played badminton. That's no shame in the alternate sports.
Yeah, we had a mini mart 3 blocks away where you could get, 2 hot dogs and a drink for 99 cents. They didn't care that we were high school kids. There was no sense of community. I would drive past these places, and I drive past them now, and I think, I want to be part of these communities where it's more than just a burger place. It's more than just a high school. It's this unique little environment where people can really get together over time and space.
You know, and I have to think about it. I've been thinking about a couple of restaurants in my neck of the woods that could really actually, benefit from kind of taking this in and taking that ownership. The 2 places that you mentioned, the Panthers Den and the Tigers Den, are they still here?
No, those are gone. There's very few in Western Washington. There's one in Elma. There's the Eagle's Nest in Elma.
Okay.
There's the Tiger's Den in Battleground. There's also the Tiger Bowl in Ephrata over in Eastern Washington. So there used to be dozens, but they're few and far between nowadays.
You know, it's funny. I didn't get that. We had a Red Robin. And we called it, hey, you want to meet at the Dirty Bird? No offense, Red Robin, we love your clucks and fries, but how important is it that we have lost, or how sad is it, I should say, that we've lost some of these places that really brought community together?
Yeah, I mean, especially during the pandemic with people doing school online and that sort of thing, you miss out on any chance to hang out after school. That stuff all went away for a couple of years. But it's just so important. We've learned, I think, more than anything the last couple of years, that those opportunities to get together with people that we have something in common with, beyond just whether it's the office or school, some alternate place where we can sort of let our hair down and be a little looser than we are if the boss is watching or if the teachers are watching. That's kind of what it's all about.
Yeah.
So.
Do you think that we should see a resurgence of this? I mean, would you encourage businesses to kind of come in, decorate the place with school paraphernalia?
I'd love to go back to Kirkland and open something next door to Lake Washington High School. The kangaroo's pouch or something like that. That would be hilarious. I'd wear one of those paper hats. I'd be like this old grumpy man who graduated from the school 40 years ago and running a little place with a Kang burger. With a Kang burger, you could actually serve kangaroo.
You've put some thought into this, Felix.
No, actually I did. It's all coming to me now. You're inspiring me.
Okay, if there are any venture capitalists out there that would like to help Felix make his dream come true, let's make this happen. I want to hear from you. What are your favorite hangouts?
I still really like Dick's Drive-In because my mother-in-law worked there when it opened, its very first day in business back in 1954. So it's not just a hamburger place for us, it's a family tradition. I
love that. I have to say, I mentioned this not long ago. I went to Burger Master for the first time over last spring. Oh, I'm addicted. And then the Burger Master that's in U Village, and you can go in and they've got all the pies.
That's a great one, yeah.
I think I might have to have that for dinner. Okay, so I'm curious now about what you all love or what you enjoyed when you were growing up, and if there are any nostalgic places, or if you were, if you have pictures of the Panther's Den or the Tiger's Den, send them to us. I would love to recap this and follow it again sometime.
I couldn't find those pictures. I'd love to see those. If people have, or the places we missed, I'd love to hear about them.
Yeah, absolutely. And then we can do a show live from the kangaroo house when his restaurant opens up. Felix, thank you so much. It's always a pleasure talking to you. So much fun. All right.